Hey everybody, welcome back to Keeping Mentally Healthy. And today we're moving on from resilience. We've been talking about that for some time now. So we're moving on to self-esteem. Now, they're quite linked actually, and you'll find that all of these videos kind of link and interweave and all feed into each other. But self-esteem, which I'll take you through in a moment, if you have high self-esteem, you are more likely to be resilient and be able to take life's troubles in your stride and not let them phase you too much. But we'll talk about that some more in a bit. What is self-esteem? So self-esteem is how you value yourself and how you feel about yourself and whether you believe in yourself. So you might have seen that, might see like the cheesy poster and cheesy mug, and like a lot of things that are cheesy, often they're true. But it says they believed in themselves, so they did. And it's just a way of saying you can do it if you just believe that you can do it. And it means that a person with high self-esteem is not necessarily any more or less skilled or talented or good looking or anything else than a person with low self-esteem. But actually the way they view themselves is very different. Okay, let me explain some more. Here we go. This is called the cycle of self-esteem. Now, when I first heard about this, this was first explained to me, it just absolutely blew my mind, because I just thought, well, it's very simple, but very obvious, but so true. And so this is what I want to share with you. So here we go. Can you see here? Let me hold it up to you. You don't need to worry about what the little words say. Okay. So this is the cycle of low self-esteem. And the idea is that you'll be able to see how easy it is to get trapped into a way of thinking about how you see yourself. So it starts off up here and it says, when I have low self-esteem, I feel, so you imagine getting up in the morning and you've got low self-esteem. You don't feel very good about yourself. How are you going to feel? I wonder what you're going to think. So you might just think, oh, I bet today's going to be awful. I'm rubbish at everything. Nobody likes me. And it's maybe quite an extreme example, but let's face it, we all have days like that. So how are you then going to approach people and get out of bed? So you come around to the next circle, and the next part says, when I have low self-esteem, I behave. So if you're feeling a bit rubbish about yourself, are you going to go along and smile at everybody? Are you going to go along and plonk yourself down next to somebody that you don't know so well and go, oh, hi, how are you doing? You're not going to, are you? You're going to just shrink back a lot more. So then it comes around here. How do people then treat you? So if you're not pushing yourself forward, and that doesn't have to be in a negative way, but just going, I'm here, it's okay. And you're not going to maybe get invited to parties as much, or people are not going to choose you for things because you're not pushing yourself forward as much. And so then how are you going to then feel about yourself again? Nobody picks me, nobody invites me to parties, nobody wants to talk to me. And so you just reinforces how you feel. So you almost get trapped in there. And that is really, really difficult, isn't it? You're not going to go for things. You're not going to put your hand up in class. You're not going to try out for a match or go for, as you get older, an interview for a job or anything like that, because you feel that you're not worth listening to and you're not good at things. Okay, now compare that to the cycle of high self-esteem. It's exactly the opposite. So someone is going to wake up and go, okay, I wonder what today is going to bring then. That might be all right. Let's see. I'll cope with it, whatever. So, and then they go around. So they might go outside and they might see someone and go, oh, hi, how are you doing? And then that person will go, oh, yeah, great, thank you, I'm doing all right. And then they go, oh, I'm having a party, I wonder if they'd like to come. But all they've done is just say hi a bit more and not exactly put themselves forward, but just felt okay about themselves. And then, of course, that person is then going to be thinking, oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, that's it. Oh, they've invited me to a party. They must like me. How nice. And so you see how that you will get stuck in a cycle of high self-esteem as well, thinking good about yourself. And you know what? These two people are the same person. They can be exactly the same person, worth exactly the same, but they just value themselves differently. So now the difficult thing is you can get stuck in this, and it's really easy to get stuck in it and hard to get yourself out of it and get yourself onto the other cycle of high self-esteem, because that's where we want to be, don't we? We want to have high self-esteem because it means that we will go out and do more and live really fulfilled lives and be able to cope better when when difficult things happen, as they will in everybody's life, but we'll be able to cope with it better because we believe that we can. Okay, so self-esteem is incredibly important. But don't despair. We all go through phases like this sometimes, but it's when we get stuck there that it becomes a problem. Okay, so how can we get ourselves out of that cycle? How can we get ourselves out of being stuck in that negative self-thinking? Okay, so let's see. Now I've got a whole list here, which is good news, isn't it? It's going to be hard work and it's not going to be easy. And I really, really wish that I could just say to you, okay, so you go to the supermarket, second aisle on the left, just get a couple of bags of self-esteem and you'll be sorted. I wish I could say that, I really do. But it doesn't work like that, and often the things that are really worth having are hard work. And that's okay. So we learn along the way as we go along too. Okay, so how can we break free of this? First of all, we need to stop that negative self-talk. And this is incredibly hard. It can be really hard. And sometimes it's good to enlist the help of your friends as well. And you can also be the person that stops other people talking negatively about themselves as well. So when you find yourself saying things like, oh, there's no point me doing that, I'm rubbish at everything, have that question in the back of your head that goes, really? You're rubbish at everything? And then find ways to challenge it. So go, oh, hang on, but there was that time when actually I did really well in my spelling test, or there was that time when so-and-so did invite me to the party. And challenge your own thinking and get into the habit of challenging those negative thoughts. And then challenge those of your friends as well. So when they say, oh no, I'm not going to go for that, I'm really rubbish, just go, no, you are absolutely not. Come on, I've seen you do this, this and this. So encourage each other as well. And without realising it, those little encouragements are all banked in that little pot of self-esteem. They're all banked, and you're almost like your bucket of self-esteem starts building up again. Okay, now let's see what else have we got. Now, a few weeks back, we talked about the growth mindset. So it's how we view challenges. So again, challenge ourselves in how we view challenges. That sounds a bit bonkers, doesn't it? But whenever something difficult comes along, again, don't think, oh, I've done it all wrong, it's all awful. View it as an opportunity to learn. And these are tricky habits to get into, but worth doing. Okay, now let's see. Now often breaking out of that cycle might take that little bit of courage. And for some of us, it might take quite a bit of courage as well, and it can be incredibly hard to do. So, for example, it will take courage for you maybe to put your hand up in class when you know something. Normally you don't dare put your hand up in class, no. But actually that little act of courage where you go, oh, I think I know the answer. and you put your hand up and the teacher says, yeah, that's absolutely right. Again, oh, that's that little bank of self-esteem that goes in there. Oh, hang on, I do know stuff. I do. So, and again, it encourages that positive self-talk. Now, I'm not saying that sometimes you're not going to have to dig deep to get that bit of courage, and it might just take everything you've got and be exhausting. But and just choose your moment. But every now and again, just go for it. So it might be, jumping in. I remember being terrified of jumping in swimming. And then one day I just screwed all my courage up together and I just did it. The water went up my nose and it was like, and I didn't like it. But I did it. And then the next time round, I went, okay, I've done it before. I can do it again. So again, a little bit of self-esteem just starts reinforcing it. So that's just another little way to break out of that cycle. Okay, now another one. I love this one. And it's called fake it till you make it. So sometimes you might not feel like you've got high self-esteem, but if you act like you do, or you think of a person that you respect and you like, and you think, how would they act in this situation? And then you do that, then actually people will then just start treating you like you have high self-esteem, and then start doing the things like giving you compliments and saying, oh yeah, that was great, and eventually you will start actually having that high self-esteem. I'll give you an example. So now I love talking to children and young people. I have no problem with it whatsoever. Talking to adults, I find it really, really, really hard. So often I really have to screw my courage up to talk to a room full of adults. And so I call it the swan. And often it might be that on the top I look very confident, I look very happy and like I know what I'm talking about. But underneath my little legs, if you imagine a swan swimming on the surface, it looks serene, it looks calm, but its little legs are going like this. And that'll be me. So I'll be really, really nervous underneath. But actually I'll come across very confident. And then what happens is that somebody will come to you afterwards and go, oh, thanks, Lorraine, that was a really good talk, I enjoyed that. And you go, oh, okay, so next time I'm not going to be quite as scared. My little legs are not going to be quite as fast, perhaps. And slowly I'll start getting onto that higher self-esteem cycle. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, let's see. Oh, now this one is the last one, and it's a fantastic one. And I can't tell you this enough. Do not compare yourself to other people. And let's face it, we all do it. We can't help it. But really, really be conscious of it and know you're doing it and know that you shouldn't. Okay, so let me think. So when you compare yourself to other people, and today it's even worse, isn't it? Because we've got things like social media, which are saying things like, you should look like this, you should be doing that, you should be reading this, you should be achieving that, you should be living this life. And we are surrounded by it, aren't we? And it's even worse now. And I think all adults will say that it's worse now than it was when we were younger as well, because there's so much, we're bombarded by this information so much, telling us we should be a certain way. Now, that is really, really hard to take. And I think there was a point, I would say, only a few years ago when I was about 40, when I, what I called, stopped shoulding myself to death. So I would say things to myself like, oh, I should be a better mum, I should be living a healthier lifestyle, I should be better at my job, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, I should be reading better books, I should. And then I had a little word with myself and said, Lorraine, will you stop shoulding yourself to death? Just be who you want to be and be who you are meant to be and go down your own path. And I do remember one particular moment when I think my self-confidence must have just taken that step up, is when I realised I was living my own path rather than living what other people expected of me. And it was a time when I was doing a certain job, not doing the job that I am now. And then suddenly I was offered working with children, and something else happened, and somebody said to me, "Oh, Lorraine, you're too nice." And I just said, "No, I'm exactly who I'm meant to be." And that really shocked me. I'm going, did that come out of my mouth? Because I've never been that confident, really. So for that to come out of my mouth, that was just like, whoa. And I think that was a big moment. Now, I don't want you to get to 40 before you get to that point. I'd like you to take a few shortcuts. So I want you to just take away some of these nuggets. I want you to be able to just live your own path. I mean, yes, it's okay to look at what other people are doing and go, okay, fine. But that's their path. And that's okay. I'm a different person, and that person is great. I need to walk my own path. And if you can just take a little nugget of that away today, then I will just be thrilled. And the thing is, you are all worth knowing. I know some of you, I'm sure, but I don't know all of you. But I'm sure if I sat down with you for 10 minutes, I'm sure I would find at least 3 nice things to say about you. You are all worth knowing, but all very different. Walk your own path. Okay, now to encourage us to do that, I have got with us a gingerbread man. Gingerbread men are always good. I love gingerbread. Okay, but what it says down here is, and this is one of the biggest messages I can give to you today. So this is me. So it's going to be, you're going to decorate it. And I am enough. You are good enough. You don't have to be like everyone else. Just be your own person. It's extremely important. And you'll find that if you try and live your own life and follow your own path, that self-esteem will start building up. Okay, so what I want you to do today, I've sent this to your teachers, and what I want you to do is you can colour it, or you can make it a picture of yourself, or what I want you to do if you like writing, and not everybody does, that's fine. So you could maybe write things in yourself that you like about yourself. Now, it might be quite good as a table if you do this, because there will be things to like about each of you. And when you get a compliment, you just say, "Thank you," and write it down. You don't argue about it. You don't go, "Oh no, oh it's nothing, oh no." You say thank you and accept it. So write down here things that you like about yourself, and maybe things that other people like about you as well. And then I would put this away somewhere at home. And whenever you're having one of those days, I call them my giant slug days, where you just go, "Oh, I just feel awful." And we all have those days, that's okay. Maybe take this out and go, "Oh, actually, yeah, I am kind. Yeah. Oh, I am quite good at this," or "I am this," or, people really like me when I do this, or "I'm funny," or whatever it is. Just take that out and remind yourself. Okay. So I'll leave you to that one. Today's been quite a long one, but I think quite important. So I'm hoping you are taking some messages away today. You are enough, and you must walk your own path. Okay, take care everybody, and I'll see you again